What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 31st day of July, the very last day of July here, and we're sitting at about $118.3.4 thousand with 11 hours, 27 minutes left in the day. We have moved up. Counter to my expectations, I thought that we would move down first and then move up, but it looks like we've moved up first and now we're moving down. I would not expect today to close red, but at this rate, we do have half the day in the form of a wick. Half the day is a candle body, so that's not necessarily a good look at the moment. Most of the time, whenever we get these wicks, we do come back down a good bit of the way and then close down, and the next day is a red day. We did have this day here where we had a pretty big wick to the upside and we still continued to go higher the next day, but first you did have a lower low technically on the wick there. So could we go lower from here? I think it's possible. I do still believe that we could go down to about 117K, maybe a little bit above there, maybe a little bit below there. Something like that could happen. We do have lower highs overall. We do have higher lows here, and really, we're just finding support at the same area. If anybody's looking at this saying it's a descending triangle, I see where you're coming from, right? I get it, kind of, but I don't think it's a descending triangle. No, I think that's wrong. It's absolutely not a descending triangle, not in my opinion at least. If we're looking at this on a 4-hour time frame, let's see. It looks even less like a descending triangle, but I see where you're coming from. But you've got this. You're kind of shaving the upside here. It really looks like you're about to break out of this trend line, is what it looks like. You have shaved this one as well. But the thing is, too, let's pretend for a second that it is a descending triangle and it's just an ugly one. Let's pretend that it is. Bearish patterns typically don't perform as well in bullish situations, right? Which let me rephrase that. Bearish patterns don't perform as well in uptrends, right? That's not what happens. So normally if you see a bearish pattern in a downtrend, okay, then you kind of have that same consolidation phase here almost, where you're moving sideways. It's ugly. You got these lower highs. You kind of faked out and then you went lower. But that was in a downtrend. It's a little bit different. Here we're in an uptrend. I would think that we break out higher. Really, what this is a horizontal channel, and we got some slippage to the upside and to the downside there. If we're looking at this on the daily time frame, and we got the RSI with lower lows, right? And you've got higher lows in the price as far as closing prices are concerned. So that's hidden bullish divergence. That's a good thing. If we're looking at this on let's go to the 15-minute time frame, and then we'll zoom out from there. 15-minute RSI, it does look momentarily bearish. You did have some lower highs right up there with some higher highs here, some bearish divergence. It looks like you tried to break, and you did actually break this area. But then, of course, as soon as you broke through it, that's where the top was, right? These diagonal lines, when's the best time to sell? Above them, normally. Of course, I think that we're going to still move up. Even if you didn't sell here and you wait, you'll get a chance to sell at much higher prices over the coming days and weeks, but I digress. Looking at the 15-minute time frame here, it kind of looks like you do want to move lower. But I'm curious to see what happens, because getting overbought like this and not getting oversold would be actually a positive thing. So you are at an area to bounce as well, but you bounced and then you found resistance at the 50. You got 9 minutes left in this 15-minute candle, and you just moved straight down. You got a wick, so maybe you do come up here. I don't know. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame. I'll give you some if-ands, okay? If Bitcoin, BTC, can close above about 118.7K, let's say on a 4-hour time frame, not a 1-hour time frame, but if we can close above 118.7K on a 4-hour time frame, then I would think that we're absolved of going lower. What do I mean by going lower? Like, how low would I think that we go if we do go lower? I think that we're going to go down to about 117K, maybe even just above there. 117.7, we could go just below there. 117.3, that golden ratio is right there at 117K, tying up with these lows. I could really see that happening. So that's kind of my expectation, is that we go down to 117K. If we're looking at this, the liquidation map over the last day, there's a good bit of liquidations here, down at about 117.1. Typically you go just a little bit through there. So I don't know, I could see maybe 117, 117.2, something like that. 116.8K, you know, all the above. If we're looking at this over the last 30 days, where else do we got liquidations? Let's see. Not really as much. Maybe the last 7 days is better. Yeah, right there. 117.1. Yeah. I don't know. It's a thought. It doesn't have to happen just because it's a thought, right? And we don't have to go there just because the golden ratio is there from this relative low to relative high. But that would be my perspective. And then we do something like, you know, people expect that we find support at these lows. Maybe we go just a little bit lower and then we come up there. 116.8K could be where we go. Maybe we don't go to the golden ratio. We find support at the 0.5, and that's directly at where all these other areas of support are as well. So the one thing that we're looking for, again, if you guys remember from yesterday's video, or I guess earlier today's video, is that, oh, come on now. We're looking for different behavior on this trend line. And first off, I'd say that we got it. We're actually backtesting this trend line for support right now. That's actually a really good look. That's the old break, hook, and go, right? The bump and run, as people would call it. That's actually a good look right there. The one time these diagonal trend lines actually come in handy is with a look like this. You know, we got 21 minutes left in the 4-hour time frame. The only thing that I don't like about it is you're breaking, you're hooking, you're not going, you're actually pulling back here. You're bumping, but you're not running. Let's just see how it goes. I stand by it, man. If you can close above 118.7K on a 4-hour time frame, then I'd be bullish. Oh, it's not. We're not on the 4-hour. We're on the 1-hour time frame. Still though, the 4-hour time frame. I would call for that. RSI is at an area that you found resistance before. Typically, you go from here and all the way back down. Just saying. 4-hour time frame here. 4-hour has 3 hours and 21 minutes left. So actually, there's a good bit of time left. I don't know. You could come back up. That's for sure. This RSI is too neutral to be helpful though. Not really going to help us out there. I mean, if anything, we're closer to areas of resistance than we are to support. But also, in all fairness, normally we do go up a little bit higher before we go lower. So wouldn't that be perfect? That'd be poetic. We close above 117.7K, 118.7K, I'm sorry. We close above there. And then as soon as we do, we go down, right? That would be funny. I got distracted. What I was trying to say, I got distracted because we were doing the bump and run here. What we're also looking for, even if this doesn't uphold, if we don't uphold this trend line, is a higher low, right? Because each time we found resistance up here, we got a low, lower low, lower low. We're looking for different behavior in the form of a higher low. But at the same time, this actually does, I gotta admit, that does look kind of good right now. It's very possible we could continue running, you guys. Absolutely. Daily time frame here. I mean, any day now. Why not today? Why not the last day of the month? Going into August. I don't know. You know, I know that we have all these tariffs coming up on August 1st. Here's my thoughts on that, by the way. Let's end the video on this note. Okay, so August 2nd, I think, is going to be a bigger day than August 1st. Why? Because Coinbase is going through maintenance, right? They're going to go through maintenance. The second biggest crypto exchange in the world is going to be shut down for about 4 hours. I think some tomfoolery is going to happen with the price. Maybe we dump, maybe we pump, maybe we do whatever. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Don't leverage trade anyways, but to all the leverage traders, I would say just stay away from it on that day. I mean, you're better off flipping a coin and deciding what direction it's going to go but I do think that it's going to dump. I think we'll get a wicked dump. And then once Coinbase opens back up, we should pump. That's my expectation. I could be wrong, right? I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But the first, tomorrow, everybody's expecting that it's going to be bearish because of the tariffs. But we've been through this before, you guys. We've actually been through this before, right? There's the old saying, buy the hype, sell the news, right? We heard about these tariffs. These were declared back here in July, in the very, very beginning of July. And we pumped through anyways. We heard about these tariffs. You guys, there's been deals with a bunch of countries that these tariffs are supposed to, that some tariffs are supposed to go against on the 1st of August. We've made a bunch of deals with them and they're not going to happen. Things are better now than they were back here when these tariffs were announced. And now that the tariffs are going to get enacted, people think that we're going to dump. I'm telling you that it's not the same as back here in February, March, right? I think everybody's wrong about the tariffs. I think we've all been wrong about the tariffs, right? And Donald Trump is right. Whether you like him or not, you have to admit the economy, the people who are judging. And again, seriously, pull your head out of your butt for a second and just look at the data. Okay, let's just look at reality here. Okay, the tariffs did not ruin the economy. We're pulling in revenue from the tariffs. Almost 100 billion, probably over 100 billion dollars at this point in revenue is coming from these tariffs. Prices of groceries haven't gone up. The economy has not crashed. The markets have not crashed. They've rebounded. They've done well. Okay, I'm going to tell you my theory. Okay, and I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I don't think that this dump was caused by the tariffs. I think this dump was caused by the uncertainty that the tariffs provided, right? Which is kind of odd that we had uncertainty because we've had tariffs before and the stock market went to new all-time highs even with that last time, right? High inflation is going to happen. Your eggs are going to be expensive. We're not going to have like blah, blah, like all this stuff. It's going to crash the economy. We're going into a recession. Elon Musk posted on X, Donald Trump wants a recession to happen, right? Stuff like that. I think that was back here. Was that later? Did that happen later? I don't know. But this was all during uncertainty of the tariffs. Now, over here, we know that the tariffs are actually good for the economy. They've actually been very good for the American economy. We know that. That's not disputable. If you dispute that, you're not looking at the data. And if you're not looking at the data, why are we talking? You know, I'm someone who looks at the data, right? Politics aside, take your politics out and just look at the data. The economy is doing well. Small business owners have taken a poll in America and said that the economy is more robust now than it's been in years. That they all believe that, or at least like 80% of them believe that we have a robust economy right now. Those are the words, right? And if the small businesses are feeling it and big businesses feeling it, I mean, if you're not feeling it, then you're just a hater. You're just using politics to cloud your judgment, and we're not going to do that here, okay? If this was Joe Biden and he was doing this, I would do the same thing. And I'm not a fan of Joe Biden personally, but even if this was Joe Biden, I would have the same open outlook on this, that, oh, the tariffs were actually good. Tariffs are good, getting to the point, okay? They've actually been good for the economy. Now that we know that, why the hell would we expect that they dump? Oh, because it dumped before? No, this is during uncertainty. We've pumped into this news before. We're going to pump into it now. Anybody expecting a massive dump between today and tomorrow, I think you're going to be let down. I think you're going to be let down tremendously, and you're going to get a big old rip in your face. But I do think, on top of that, I do think August 2nd will provide a little bit of a shakeout. So maybe we're still in this range. Maybe we're still here by tomorrow, August 2nd, and then we shake out a little bit, but it won't be intense. It'll be intense. It'll be very intense for a moment. Maybe we drop like 2,000, 4,000, maybe we drop $10,000, but it'll be over just as fast as it begins, right? Maybe we do get a lower low. I don't expect that. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't expect that we go below this low of 114.7K, but we could. You never know. But time will tell. Mark my words, guys. We're going to pump into these tariffs. If we are not breaking down and seeing a crazy dump by the end of August 2nd, it won't come. It won't come. In fact, we're going to do exactly what we did the last time we had news of tariffs. We're going to pump. We're going to go to new all-time highs. You guys remember, the tariffs were announced here, and then we pumped. The tariffs are about to happen here. Buy the hype, sell the news. Or in a bearish circumstance, which people think is bearish and they're misunderstanding, you sell the hype, you buy the news. Anyways, I got nothing else for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.